It's a fan favorite for a reason, and it's back for another year for a reason, so you have to try it.
Oh, that sounds really good.
That one's going to be the hit, I think.
You watch them scrape it off of the rind. It's like cinema.
Wow, that is unnecessarily spicy.
With so many amazing things to eat, the EPCOT Food and Wine Festival is a foodie's dream. There's a reason why it's massively popular. But it's also massive, with 30 booths and hundreds of delectable items to try. So how do you know what's actually worth your time and money? I went out to EPCOT to try to cover it all by myself and failed miserably. Turns out cheese soup in 90-degree heat can really bring your day to a stop. But that's actually good news for you because I'm bringing in some experts to help. Disney's Culinary team, a Walt Disney World ambassador, and a festival expert, Demi from Magical Hijinx, who tried every single booth this year to figure out the must-try foods and insider strategies. So today, I'm giving you the exact game plan you need to have the best possible day at EPCOT Food and Wine. Hi, I'm James Grosh from Guide to WDW, and this video is a multi-course meal of the best tips, advice, and recommendations for what to do at the EPCOT Food and Wine Festival, which is running now until November 22nd. So let's dig in. First, an amuse-bouche to whet your appetite. I got to talk with Walt Disney World Ambassador Serena, who shares some of her festival favorites and tips. Hi, this is James from Guide to WDW, and I'm here at EPCOT, where it's the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival. So we're going to talk food and wine with Walt Disney World Ambassador Serena. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful. How can I not be at Disney World?
I know, it is such a great time, especially I love the Food and Wine Festival. So what are some of the highlight booths for you this year?
Oh my gosh, well, it speaks for itself, the fact that they're returning favorites. The fry flight over at the Fry Basket, and then the Pickle Milkshake over at Brewing Lab at Odyssey. I mean, they're returning for a reason. Our guests love them, I love them. And well, but speaking of returning favorites, I do have to tell you though, nearly half of the food and beverage offerings are brand new this year to Food and Wine. Isn't that incredible?
That is incredible. It's amazing how they have so many festivals going on throughout the year at EPCOT. There are 4 different festivals, and everyone has new food items, and there are so many amazing ones. One that I particularly liked was the seafood roll at the America booth. It was so good. When somebody's coming to the EPCOT Food and Wine Festival, you know, this is Guide to WDW. We're all about the tips. We're all about the advice. You know, this might be somebody's first festival. What's something that you would say to look out for and go to first?
Yeah, absolutely. So my tried and true method, especially because everyone's different, right? Everyone comes to Disney World for different things and there's something for everybody, but you have to get that passport. That's the first thing you need on the way in. And I know every Disney adult, every Disney expert's gonna be like, yeah, obviously. But like you said, first timers might not realize. So you get that passport, you look through all the booths, look through all the food offerings, and you scope out, okay, this is gonna be a must in my day. Circle the ones you have to try. And then you scope out your route in World Showcase from there, because the age-old question, which side do you start? Which end do you start in?
Okay.
Which one are you?
Oh, I'm Mexico. I'm going to Cava de Tequila and getting an avocado margarita. That is my perfect start to my World Showcase adventure.
My guy, you're not afraid to start strong. I'm Mexicana myself, so starting the day with a margarita does not scare me. The cucumber is my personal favorite.
You really can't go wrong there.
No.
There's so many great options there. Okay, so food and wine, there's also some great music to be heard.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about the concerts that are here at the Food and Wine Festival?
Yeah, so we have a few different concert series for the different festivals at EPCOT, but the one right now for Food and Wine is Eat to the Beat. I just love that name. I love saying that name. And we have so many great artists, again, like the food, some returning, fan favorites like Boys to Men. Yes. People always come back. That's a tradition to see Boys to Men at EPCOT.
One of the biggest days here is Boys to Men.
It always gets crazy, right? You have to get here early and get in line.
Yes, or get a dining pack.
Yes, and then we have new artists, of course. Every lineup every year has some new folks that are joining us this year. Among a few is Jordan Sparks. Ooh, so our guests can get excited about that. And then, of course, for me, Food and Wine particularly falls across Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month. So we make sure to incorporate some Latino artists in that lineup as well during that time.
Oh, very good. Okay, and this is a question I've been asking of the perennial favorites, the returning favorites we've been talking a lot about. If you could pick any one item to put in the EPCOT Food and Wine Hall of Fame, what would you choose?
It's gonna have to be the Pickle Milkshake.
Oh, good choice.
I'm a pickle lover, and again, it's like it's what Disney does best, I think, is creating an experience, giving people an experience or an interaction that they can't get anywhere else. And that's one of those like shock and awe, like a pickle milkshake. But again, it's a fan favorite for a reason, and it's back for another year for a reason. So you have to try it.
Yeah, and if you like spicy things, the unnecessarily spicy but extremely tasty wings, I think that's what they're called. They are really good and pair well with that pickle milkshake because it can kind of cool the heat. So
good choice. And it's just a hop, skip, and a jump over to the Brewing Lab. So you might as well on your way into World Showcase.
Exactly. Well, Serena, thank you so much for your time. And there's so much to see, so much to hear, so much to eat and drink. So yeah, it's just a fun time here at EPCOT. My favorite part.
Yeah. Come hungry.
Oh, yes, for sure. If that got you excited about going to Disney World during Food and Wine, things are about to get even more exciting because I am sending one subscriber to Walt Disney World with an incredible vacation package. Here's how you can win. I've partnered with Disney to give away a 5-day, 4-night Walt Disney World vacation to one of you. It's for up to 4 guests, including 5-day park hopper tickets, 4 nights at a Disney World Resort hotel, and a $300 Disney gift card that would be perfect to use at the EPCOT Food and Wine Festival. But if you won, you wouldn't have to use it then. You could use it during the EPCOT Festival of the Holidays, the EPCOT Festival of the Arts, the Flower and Garden Festival. The winner will have a whole year to choose from for when to go. So if a free Disney World vacation sounds good to you, subscribe to Guide to WDW and get entered by going to guidetowdw.com/contest. Log into the form at the top of the page. You can earn bonus entries by clicking through the form and following Guide to WDW everywhere. I'm also dropping secret codes across all my platforms that you can enter in the form for more entries. The secret code for YouTube is StarTours1401, all one word. I just extended the deadline to October 8th, but time is running out, so get entered and good luck. Our next course of Food and Wine tips. I had the chance to chat with 2 of the members of Disney's Culinary team, who showed off the new and reimagined offerings that they're most excited about from this year's festival. We're here to talk about food, we're here to talk about beverages, and I'm here with Tony and Will, and they're gonna give us a culinary tour through the food festival.
One of my personal favorites, new to the festival this year. These are our Korean barbecue chicken wings. These are served at the Brewing Lab at the Odyssey. This is twice fried, nice and crispy with gochujang barbecue sauce and toasted sesame seeds.
All right, so I'm a wing guy. I love wings. All right. Tell me the heat level of those wings.
On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 2.
Okay, so
it's not crazy.
So not like the unnecessarily spicy wings.
No, that one's off the charts.
I can attest to that. I was sweating, but in a good way. It has that nice curry taste to it. I really like those wings.
Up front here at Flavors from America, we have our Gulf Coast style seafood roll featuring lobster, rock shrimp, lobster bisque, and sherry creme fraiche.
From what I've seen people talk about, everyone's talking about the seafood roll.
Yes, that is one of our most popular dishes this year. The toasted brioche bun, we toast it fresh on the flat top with butter, and add the seafood that's poached in butter, lobster bisque on top, and then a nice little squirt of our creme fraiche. That's a big hit this year.
Yeah, I got to have that last night, and it was so good. One of my favorite things that I've ever had at the festival.
Up top here we have our caldoso style paella. This features smoked mussels, bay scallops, and rock shrimp. And then down front we have our Montreal style impossible slider. That's a plant-based offering this year, which features tomato jam and garlic aioli.
It's all plant-based.
It is 100% plant-based, yes.
So it's something that people might not realize. There are a lot of plant-based options at the festival.
We have options and varieties for everybody. Whether it be plant-based, full-on, protein, non-alcoholic versus alcoholic, we have everything. A few desserts here for anyone with a sweet tooth. New this year to the Hawaii marketplace is our pineapple cheesecake. That's with a passion fruit curd and toasted macadamia nuts. Over at Shimmering Sips, we have our strawberry champagne trifle. And new over at Milled and Mulled this year, we have our mini churro apple caramel sundae with vanilla bean gelato.
Oh, that sounds really good.
That one's going to be the hit, I think.
And so these are a lot of new offerings or reimagined offerings, but if you could pick one item that's like a perennial favorite that you could add to the EPCOT Food and Wine Hall of Fame, what would you pick?
Filet mignon at Canada.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a classic choice. I
feel like it's up there with the seafood roll as like it's so filling and so satisfying, so good.
It is.
All right, so Will, why don't you take me through the beverages, because it's not just the food, it's the food and wine and cocktails and mocktails and all of that. So why don't you take us on a tour?
Yeah, we got about 120 beverages available between beer, wine, cocktails, like you said, sake even, and non-alcoholic beverages. So the first one I'm going to highlight to you comes from the Greek marketplace. So this is the Greek melon limeade, which is a recently newly added item. So this one has Kleos mastia spirit, which is actually derived from cucumber. So this one's going to be like really smooth and refreshing.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Cooling. We have garnished it with sage, actually, to make that it's something that's going to be truly unique. You're not going to find this at home or somewhere else. Up front, you won't even find it at EPCOT yet because it's debuting later this month. So on September 28th, when Gyozas of the Galaxy global marketplace joins the rest of the portfolio, you'll be able to find this one, which is the pineapple colada. Which is, a nice rum, fruity-based beverage with Dole pineapple in it, and we have garnished that one with mint. So again, really refreshing, great for those hot Florida days. Third one I want to talk with you about, this one will go great with your wings, and conveniently, it's located at the same place at the Brewing Lab at the Odyssey. The Muppets have taken over, as we know. So this is one of their beverage-based experiments that Dr. Benson Honeydew came up with, and this is the frozen pomegranate raspberry tea. So we have Twinings tea frozen, interspersed with orange ice cream molecules.
Ooh.
So you'll have to experiment and try it out and see if your vessel is very nearly still full or void of contents by the end of your enjoyment.
Well, I love the Brewing Lab. I love the Muppets. I love Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker, and they've taken over that whole space. It's a really creative space. There's lots of fun videos that play. And then I asked Tony about the Food Hall of Fame. What beverage would you put in perennial favorite for Food Wine Hall of Fame?
Well, Brazil's caipirinha is right up there, but at the end of the day, our German beer flight, you can't pass that up.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's classic. All right. Well, Tony, Will, thank you so much. I really can't wait to try even more things at the EPCOT Food and Wine Festival this year. All right, so let's get eating.
Okay, the main course. Like I said, I tried as much as I could at this year's festival, and I barely scratched the surface. So I'm bringing in a festival expert, my friend Demi from Magical Hijinx, who has been covering EPCOT festivals, theme park food, and much more for years. She has seriously great taste. We had a really great deep dive conversation going over advice, strategies, the best booths, and the best items to try. We went so deep that it didn't all fit into one video, so stay tuned to my channel for part 2 where I cover what not to do at EPCOT Food and Wine. But first, let's bring in Demi.
Okay, so try as I might, I did not get to try everything at the festival, so I am bringing in a culinary expert, a Disney foodie, my go-to for all things Disney food, Demi from Magical Hijinx, also the co-host of the Park Peeps podcast, and you tried every single booth at this year's festival.
Yes, I cover all the festivals and I cover all of the food booths. I've been doing this for 5 years now, which is crazy. So over time, you're able to really be able to try everything. So what I do when I focus on is I go to the first day of the festivals and I try all of the new items. And then obviously over time I can go back and do a little bit of check-ins, as I call them, just see how it's going out throughout the festival. Because some days it's a little bit different. That way I am able to show everybody all the booths, most of the food items, if not all the food items at the entire festival.
It is overwhelming just how many options there are, just, grabbing this festival booklet and looking through and being like, oh my gosh. And, I tried to do the thing this year of okay, I'm going to try as many things as possible. And then I tried one item. I was like, I'm full. I'm sleepy. Yeah. It had been a long day at that point. I did not have the right strategy for food and wine. But I want to give people who are watching right now, my audience, the right strategy for how to approach food and wine, because it's such a fun event. But like we said, there's so many different things to try. So what would be your advice for someone, whether it's their first time at Food and Wine or their 10th time?
So here's the thing with Food and Wine, because now Disney has pushed it back toward starting at the end of August and really making this a fall event and doing lots of fall flavors and more heavier options. For a while we were in July and I will tell you, covering this festival in July, there was one year, I think it was 2022, and anybody who was at the first day that year will tell you, we all thought we were going to die of heat stroke. And I still got heat stroke this year in August. Make sure if I can tell you guys anything, please just wear a hat or an umbrella in Epcot. There is no shade, and my brain felt burnt for days, and I'm really not joking. It's really, really, really hot during those summer months. So what people need to remember with Food and Wine, because it's heavy food and because it's like at the end of summer, but it's still really hot, especially the first few weeks. September is hot, and then rain season is about to happen, is you need to plan and pace yourself. And the thing is also with Food and Wine, it has the most food booths of any of the other festivals. I will say it's actually my least favorite festival.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
There's so much other fun things going on at the other festivals. Like my favorite is Festival of the Arts. There's, you have all the artwork everywhere. You have the chalk art, you have paint by numbers. There's a lot of activities. And so it's less focused. The food is great, but it's less focused on the food and there's more things to do. And same thing with like Flower and Garden. There's other things. And don't even get me started on Festival of the Holidays, all the Santa Clauses. It's so fun. But Food and Wine is like, okay, ready, set, eat, and then maybe go see Joey Fatone.
Absolutely. That's what my sister did. That was her priority, like go see Joey Fatone. And there are some of the things. There's the Remy's Hide and Squeak scavenger hunt, which I think is really fun, especially with kids. And kind of my tip for that is, you can buy the map and it's fun to have the stickers and all that, but you could just, you can do it without that and without getting the prize and just look out for Remy throughout all of the World Showcase pavilions.
Yeah. And if you're curious as to like, why would you buy the map, is because you get a prize at the end and you can ask to see what the prize is. So if it's something that you don't want ahead of time, like you don't have to buy the map. They're very good about showing you the items of like what you get. And sometimes like there's some really fun, like cool little like souvenir items, but sometimes they're just like whatever. So yeah, I love that there's always a scavenger hunt of a character in the festivals, and the Remy one is very cute, and he's a little bit harder to find because they make him a little bit smaller. Yeah. So like versus maybe like Olaf or Figment in the portraits. So it's definitely fun, but again, wear your hat, because you're going to be outside for a long time.
Yes, and another tip there, bring a water bottle. I like to bring a water bottle like this. You don't have to have a Guide to WDW sticker on it, but you should. And what you should also do is go to Connections Eatery. They have the the water fountains that you can just fill up there, get ice, and also I get like electrolyte powder and just pour it in there, and like you can just stay hydrated. That is the best way to approach Epcot. I feel like anytime that it's hot, but especially Food and Wine, if you're going to hit up booth after booth after booth.
Yeah, honestly, Disney in general, bringing those electrolyte packs are really, really good. I really love them. The thing is with Food and Wine, too, is that, quick services, yes, you can go and get yourself a free cup of water. And that also includes Refreshment Outpost and Refreshment Port. But the food booths will only have bottled water, so you would have to pay for it. So kind of like have in your mind of like, okay, here's where I'm going to plan out. I'm going to get water at Connections, and then I'm going to, as my way walking through World Showcase, I'll get it at fill up Refreshment Port, and then I'll stop in over at the bakery in France and fill up water again, and plan out where those quick services are so that you can refill your water if you don't feel like paying for a bottle.
The best way to approach this festival is to have not a plan of attack, but a plan of a snack. And so that is something of like, I was chatting with Serena, the Walt Disney World ambassador, and one of her tips was like, get this first thing. Oh, yes. Look through it, kind of make a mark of like, okay, that item sounds good. That item sounds good. I recommend everybody check out your video where you show all the items, because you have a great way of describing the items, and like, you describe how it tastes and, whether or not something is appealing to you, but you describe how it tastes so people out there can know like, hey, actually that sounds pretty good to me.
Delicious, great flavor on that Wagyu. Sauce is a little tangy. It's not spicy or anything. Meat's cooked really well. Rice is nice and sticky, and you got a little pickle. Ooh, it's a nice little pickle. This is delicious. The pickle has like a little bit of a heat to it.
I wish I had been able to see the video before I went, but I was there while you were recording it.
Right.
So it would
We
have
had
been
a busy
impossible.
weekend.
Yes, we had a very busy time. Very fun time.
If you are going, I really do recommend watching a video beforehand so that you can write down your must-dos. And the thing is with what I'm really very aware of when I do any type of food reviews, and what's very unique about my channel is, besides my honest reviews, I make sure and I understand the difference of what is good and what I like versus what I don't like. And I will always say, you know, if I know something is cooked well and whatever it is, but maybe it's not for me, I say exactly that. I say all the positive things that you cannot deny, and I'll say, maybe not for me, I wouldn't return, but maybe this is for you. And then I always like to get your feedback as well. If you go to the festival, watch my video, go to the festival, go back to my video, I want to hear what you think, because it not helps like just me hear other people's opinions on this food, but you know, it'll help other people that are going to click on the video and watching and want to get, you know, more reviews. And I also like going with friends so that are with me so that we can get like second opinions, because, you know, as much as I respect my own opinion and I think, you know, you would want to hear different views, especially because I come from New York and I eaten all around the world, not just in Disney World, but all around the world. And we have the best food in New York as well. So I'm very like, I know what good food is, and I'm very aware of how expensive all of this can get as well. And, you know, at around $7 per plate, you want to make sure what you're getting is something that you will enjoy.
That brings me to another one of my favorite tips, is to like utilize the Disney gift card, because you can often get it at a 5% discount, like at Target, and you can kind of budget yourself that way. You can have like, okay, I'm going to spend this much at Food and Wine, because at Food and Wine, you can kind of get a little carried away of like, oh yeah, sure, I'll have that and that and that. And it can really add up if you're just, you know, charging it to your room with the Magic Band, or if you're charging it to your credit card. So the Disney gift cards, they have these ones that you can put on your wrist, which is very handy to stay hands-free and you don't have to dig in your pocket. So speaking of spending your hard-earned money, what are some of the items that you would recommend people spend their hard-earned money on?
Okay, we have a lot of great items here. And I say this is my least favorite festival, but they're all great festivals. I just personally love the activity parts of the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think Food and Wine, there was a few years that I really was very underwhelmed by some of the like booths and the items, but I really think this was a really good year. And we have a lot of really good new items and a lot of great returning ones. And so for me, for some new items, the biggest standout, I would say 100% was at the American booth. It was the New England slider, and it was a beef pot roast slider. And I want you to picture this, everybody. I picked up the two items from that booth, and it all poured all over me. Like I had sauce and butter from the seafood roll all over me. I was in a mood. And then I took a bite of that pot roast slider and I was like, all is forgiven, because it was so good. It was so tender. It was so juicy. It was delicious. They really knocked it out of the park. Also, the seafood roll was really great too. The bun was really good. I think America really hit it out of the park this year. I also really loved in Japan the beef wagyu over the rice. Like, it's very simple, but the flavor you get out of that wagyu is delicious. Really, really, really delicious. Something that I'm really excited about this year was a change at the France booth. So there used to be an escargot in a pastry, and it was okay. But the thing was that the pastry would get very soggy very quickly. They made a change, but you still get escargot. You get 3 little, very crispy pastries, like this big, little squares, and there's a piece of escargot in it, baked in, and then you have a dipping sauce of the escargot, like cream sauce, and it's so good because your pastry is no longer soggy. You're getting a good bite of the escargot because you can see the full piece in there, and you get to pick up all of that wonderful garlic tasting escargot dip, and it's so good. And it's such a fun idea to do because I feel like a lot of people don't try escargot in the US or are afraid, especially if you're like not from a state, like if you're not like from New York where you have like more opportunities to try it, Disney is a great place to try it. This festival, I always say it's a good stepping stone into trying it. And if you like maybe like mussels, you may like it. I know it sounds kind of scary, but it's really delicious. And the best part of escargot is all the dipping sauce stuff. So they really knocked it out of the park with that. I also love their cheese beignet. I mean, it's just, France and their cheese beignet is so good. They said it was new, but I was like, I don't think so. I've had this here before. New-ish. There's a lot of things that sometimes Disney will say is new, but it's really not, but it kind of is. And then the other biggest standout for you sweet tooth fans was over at Hawaii. It's a brand new item. It's the pineapple cheesecake with passion fruit curd. And wow. It was so delicious, so light. It almost gave like Junior's cheesecake, if anyone knows that brand, and I love it's, to me, that's top tier cheesecake. It was phenomenal. But also just there's so many incredible returning things that I always say put on your must get list. If you are a cheese fan, you got to go to that Alps booth and get that raclette cheese right off the rind. You watch them. It's like cinema. You watch them scrape it off of the rind, and it's so simple but so good and just nice and hot and melty. I would also say basically anything. I'm going to feel like I'm going to bring up this booth quite a lot, but I love brewing. I love brewing.
We can go in depth on brewing. I got my Muppet Labs stuff here, so.
I mean, also, like, I'm a Muppet myself, so I love that we themed this to the Muppets. And Pickle Milkshake aside, or even if you love the Pickle Milkshake, the food is always so good, and it's just their wings, and even the vegan wings, like they're something that I'm like, oh, you're gonna have a good time if you go to brewing, and you get to eat it indoors, which is so great.
Oh, yeah. Brewing is awesome. They have the great videos with Bunsen and Beaker. It's the wings, I went there, I think it was 2022, and I was pretty disappointed with the wings. Wings might be my favorite food. So I have like a high standard for wings. Yeah. And so I had them and I was like, it's kind of
well, can I ask, were you there the first day or was this like a later date?
This was a later date. This was like October.
Mm-hmm. As something that I notice with festivals, and goes for all of them, as the season goes on, I feel the quality starts to dip.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that I feel like the quality of the chicken has improved greatly. Like, it was very meaty. I tried two of them. I tried the garlic parmesan, which I think is like just a slam dunk. That was great because it was nice and crispy, flavorful. Everybody could have it. It's not spicy at all. And then I had the unnecessarily spicy yet extremely tasty wings, and I do think that is an apt description. Like, it's right on that like edge for me, where it's like it's spicy, but I'm still having a good time. Mm-hmm. I'm not miserable. I'm not dying from the heat, but I did still get a little bit of sweat, and that curry flavor is just really delicious. Wow. Okay. Flavor is really good. Ooh, that is unnecessarily spicy. My one note on that was that it was a little soggy. The skin was a little soggy, which I think for like festival, it's hard to get like wings perfectly crispy. Mm-hmm. But I still was like craving those wings afterwards, and it was a satisfying meal. I got like that and the fries from the fry basket, and that turned into an awesome meal. So yeah, brewing, I'm a big fan. Big thumbs up there. And then also there's a for us parents out there, they had little kids activities set up in one of the corners of like taking rubber chickens and throwing them in a barrel. So it's like it's a great place to just cool off and let your kids run around and see some Muppets. I'm a big fan of brewing.
I absolutely love it. And what I mean sometimes of like as the season goes on, it's because there's a lot of less turnover. So on the first day in those first few weeks, and people are excited and they're going, and especially get the locals going, there's just more turnover. So I remember being at recently at the last day of this year, last day of Festival of the Arts, and there just wasn't many people. It was a very slow day. Okay, and anything that I got was just like, it was still good, but like it wasn't that first day feeling, and I think
Right.
it's just because there's not as much turnover. But I everybody that is working there is doing a fantastic job, and it was no dig onto them. I just want to make that very clear.
Right. It makes sense of like,
Yeah.
you know, if they're, you know, right at the beginning, there's tons of people buying stuff, they have to make it fresher. And whereas when there's less people, less demand, you know, there might be items that are just kind of sitting there not quite as fresh. So that does
Right.
make sense.
Yeah.
And I have had good luck with if there's anything that feels like, this feels like it's cold or way overcooked or anything. The cast members have been great about making it right. So I will say
yeah.
that's another tip of like, don't be afraid to ask. You know, the worst thing that can happen is that they'll say, oh no, we can't do that, we can't accommodate that. But most of the time, you know, I was at Flavors of Fire, and and this was all on me. I completely spilled my corned beef.
Yeah.
Completely spilled it, and just
those.
like all over the counter. I was like, that's on me. And they were like, oh, we can give you a new one. I was like, oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to ask. I was just going to like, scoop it up in shame and just kind of eat the scraps I had left. But they were super nice about it, and so yeah.
Yeah, of course. I, as someone who spills quite often, they're very nice about it. Luckily, when I was spilling all of the things over me on American booth, I only needed a new butter, but I think they would have been kind.
And getting back to that America booth, I will say that was the biggest hit for us.
Yeah.
And everyone in my family loved everything that we tried. And that seafood roll is great, but they do give you a ton of butter. I was dipping with every single bite, and I still was like 3/4 of the way full on that cup. So that is a dangerous pour.
Yeah, thank goodness I was doing like a look inspired by the bear and was wearing an apron because it literally got all over me.
Hey,
and
I
I
think-
smelled like butter the whole day.
I think wearing an apron might be the move to kind of like, just embrace that you're going to get messy at this festival.
What? I literally said, I was like, I know this was just like a bit that I was doing, but like, I think I may need to wear an apron at all the festivals now. It just like to wipe your hands just every once in a while on it. Oh, it was so convenient. No, yeah, I think they really did so well this year. America usually does pretty well. And I remember last year they had the hot dogs, and those were kind of fun and cute, and but I love leaning into like something like more hearty, like the slider and a seafood roll. I think it's really unique.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a great booth to go to, and especially like during the concerts. You know, the line's gonna get long. The seafood roll is one of the most popular items that I saw. But if you go while there's the concerts going on, you can enjoy the music while you're waiting. So I think like that was my, we'll talk about best booths of the fest, but that's a pretty strong contender. So we've talked about favorite items. Is there anything that you would say is an underrated gem, like that people aren't talking about enough?
Oh, yeah. 100%. I have two. Is the pistachio cake at Morocco at Tangerine Cafe.
Yes.
It's been around for, I want to say since 2021 or 2022. It used to be like a bar-looking cake, and then they made it into a little bundt cake, a bundt. And it's just like, it's so good. It's just so flavorful of that pistachio taste. And I feel like Morocco is always slept on in general, but it's a dessert that if you're not into really sweet things, it's really good. Like, go pick up a Joffrey's coffee in America and then walk over to Morocco and get that, and you're going to have a lovely little afternoon treat. But I also need to shout out one of my favorites that is I saved for my underrated, because even though I think it's a must get, it's always underrated, and it's the adobo yuca fries at the Fry Flight.
Ooh, yeah.
That like garlic aioli that they put on there, I just want everything in my life to have that on top of it. It's so good. And every time I've gotten them, which is often, they're very crispy and they're very hot, and they just come out so good. Along with, they moved it over to brewing the pickle fries. And it's because they're the spears, so it's really hot, really crispy, and then you get all like the juiciness of the pickle versus if it was like a chip. I would also say the mimosa flight at Shimmering Sips. It's just like very fun and like very it feels like you're celebrating. Because that's also the booth where you get your redemption for Emil's Fromage Montage. Like get your redemption and then like get your mimosa flight and cheers to doing the montage. It's so fun. And then for last one, I want to give one more. It's the griddled cheese in Greece.
Oh yeah.
Also part of the montage, but just really good. You have to eat it right away when it's nice and hot. It's just melty, gooey loveliness of cheese.
Yeah, I would say I have two picks for underrated. I would say I might mispronounce this, the pau de queijo from Brazil.
Pau de queijo.
Okay, yes.
That's what I was told.
That is kind of a favorite of my family's. It's great for kids. We gave them to our kids and they loved them. It's this cheese bread, but it's gluten-free. So it's made from, I think it's tapioca.
I love the pau de queijo. It's more of like the cheese is like baked into the bread. So it's not like you're not getting like a real cheese pull, like in the sense of what you would think of.
Absolutely.
But it's really good, really simple, but just very tasty for sure.
It's just a great snack to have, and it's like it kind of scratches the itch of the snack, but it's not too filling. And it's a great kind of like you're going between the booths type of snack. And then the other thing I would say is the pretzel bread bratwurst from Germany. That is a big hit with my family. Anytime there's a festival, it seems like they always have some in Germany, a pretzel bread option. And there's also the pretzel bread at Canada. That's a big hit, but you got to get it with the cheese soup, and it's so hot.
It's so hot.
So I'm just like, I'd rather go with the brat. It's so good,
but it's so hot. I know. I remember. I'll never forget that July where I thought we were gonna die, and like I needed to get the cheese soup. I think it was like when it came back, and I was like, oh my god, they're making me eat hot cheese soup when it's like 110 degrees right now. We know what it was making me, but you know what I mean.
So let's do a few quick fire awards. So speaking of things that could be filling, this could be a meal award. The item that is like, hey, I'm gonna get this. I don't want to like go and eat out a bunch of different things. I want a meal. What would you pick for that?
Oh, 100%. There was not a doubt in my mind. It is the Berber spice beef stew from Refreshment Outpost. It is like the biggest bowl of beef stew. It's for $6.75. It's plated with sweet potato, mealy pap, and I wrote the kachumbari slaw, and I apologize for butchering that. And it's so good. The meat is just like so tender, and the flavor's so good. And the bowl is huge. If you see it in my video, it's huge. Really great, like really great flavor. I mean, a lot of people sleep on the Outpost, and you shouldn't sleep on Outpost because you're gonna get really good flavor there. It's like when you go to Animal Kingdom and there's like all these great flavors because you're going into like African flavors and more of that area, and it's fantastic. And again, huge. I would also want to throw in there's this new item for the festival at Summerfest, and I'm never going to be able to say it correctly. It is the Zwiebajuken, and I'm so sorry to Germans out there, but it's like a huge, like the size of my head plus of this like onion, like savory onion cake, as I feel like I can only describe it as. I didn't particularly love it, but it's because it's very oniony, and to me it was like a little bit dry, but a lot of the people I was with really loved it, and you get like it's a huge piece for what you get. So I would say those two for sure.
Yeah, my pick would be the seafood roll from America. That was just so delicious, and for I think it was like $8.50 or something like that. It was very filling. Everything was really good. You get the lobster, you get the shrimp. It was a good amount of seafood, and then they have this lobster bisque that they put on top, and then also the infamous butter. That you can dip it in. So it is a very hearty. I would also I have to shout out the filet at Canada. That is another really hearty, filling item. That is just a classic for EPCOT Food and Wine. Those would be my go-tos.
I also want to throw in the lamb from Australia.
I love that.
I wasn't going to originally, but in terms of like, getting a piece of lamb for a food and wine price, like that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's
it just sometimes depends on the piece they give you.
So yeah, it can be, and I've definitely experienced that. That has been one of my family's favorites. You get the potato crunchies. It's delicious. It's great. And yes, if you do get a good piece of lamb, it can be just a knockout. So that has been one of my favorites throughout the years. And speaking of favorites throughout the years, this is a question that I've been asking. What would be your Food and Wine Hall of Fame, an item that a classic perennial favorite that you would say like, okay, this should always be at the festival?
I mean, it's kind of a boring answer, but really it's the raclette cheese from the Alps because it's just so good, and it can't be bad because it's just, you're getting a whole rind of cheese and they're scraping it off, and it's just, and you get to put it on like a nice piece of bread, and it's just like, it's basically a whole booth dedicated to cheese. And I love that. But I also have to go with brewing. Like, I just love it. I really love wings, and I always just find it to be like a good like value. I find it to always be very tasty, and like the pickle fries are now there, and those are just always such a slap for me. So I would have to say brewing and the Alps.
Those are great picks. I don't think the raclette is a boring choice. I think that's a pretty good sneaky option because I keep on going back and forth of like, is it the filet from Canada or the seafood roll from America? Because I just talked about those, but I do think those are great values. I gotta go. And it's new-ish. It's reimagined the seafood roll. So even though but they've had lobster rolls there in the past, and I feel like those have always been good. And now it's been like reimagined in a really good way. So kind of like, great rookie year, and I'm putting it in the Hall of Fame. So that's that's what I'm going to do, because it's just, I think, there's a really good, for the price lobster roll at Columbia Harbor House, which is that's my go-to for a quick service lunch at Magic Kingdom. That's like $18, whereas this was, it's like $8.50, and I think it's tastier and just about as filling. It's a little smaller, but I think it's just about as filling. So
it's a lot better, and you never know. My thing with Columbia Harbor House is consistency, and it's just like you never know what it's going to be like on the day. But I have to agree with you. I really was so impressed with that seafood roll.
Most improved booth of the year.
It's America for sure. Like, not that it was bad ever, but like it was just like, and the hot dogs were good, but it was just like, I mean, we keep talking about the seafood roll, but the seafood roll and that slider was fantastic. But you know what? I'm also going to say Italy because, like I said, like they still improved. It wasn't like, oh no, it was still all very edible. I just want it to be better.
Well, hey, that's good. We're heading in the right direction. I would also say America. Also, it's something we didn't talk about, but the bread pudding dessert, that was my favorite dessert. It was just like almost like a lava cake, how gooey it was when you take that first bite. And I love chocolate. I love the whiskey caramel. You can definitely taste the whiskey in it. So it might be a little harsh for some people, but I thought it was nice and a bit different.
Yeah, it's a returning item. I definitely got more like Nutella flavors from it than like chocolate flavors.
Okay.
But it's still very good. I think like for me personally, it's not like my all-time favorite dessert. I would have to probably give that to the pineapple cheesecake this year.
Okay.
But it's a very good item. Like everything at America was fantastic.
Your pick for best booth of the fest?
You know what? It's got to be America. Like, I know we keep saying it, but also I love brewing. I'm going to say it again. Like, I love brewing and I don't care. And the thing is, France is also really good, except I can't put it as number one because and I blame the weather and I blame just like it being a hot festival. Their creme brulee is just, it's just all melted immediately. I don't blame them at all. It's just you're dealing with weather factors, but it like brings down the booth in terms of overall things at the booth for me. Going back to brewing, like, you don't have to love the pickle milkshake to appreciate it, I think, and its like ingenuity. And it's also like, does it taste like pickle or is it mint chocolate chip? I'm not sure. Well, not chocolate, but just mint ice cream. Like, what am I actually tasting? Do I like this? I'm not sure. But I love a weird thing. And like, that's that's their weird thing, and I hope it stays forever.
Yeah,
truthfully.
brewing brings the weird Epcot energy that we love. We've given a lot of love to America, so that would probably be my real answer. I'm gonna just kind of just to be different right now, just say the fry basket, because I think like that fry flight is so good. It's
So
a
good.
ton of fries, so it's great
Yeah.
to share with a group. And they even give you like a little holding tray for it that kind of like that they have for the beer flights.
Yeah.
That's great. And the yucca fries, or yucca or yucca.
I always said yucca.
Okay.
Let us know.
Yes, let us know. The yucca fries are really good. Yeah, it's just, I think that's another great one where it's like, it's kind of the opposite of this is a meal thing, where it's just like, okay, you're gonna have a fun snack as you're going through, and like,
Yeah.
and it's really convenient of like, go on test track, then get some fries, then go to brewing. Like it kind of, you can
And then go
plan
back on test track and then get sick.
Yes. Go on Guardians right after that. That's the move. I definitely once again recommend everyone check out your Food and Wine video, because you show all the different items that you tried and your review of each of them, and it's a great way to kind of plan out your plan of a snack. So Demi, where can people check you out and find you?
You can find me at Magical Hijinx. That's Hijinx on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads. I'm everywhere. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, and make sure to check out my Food and Wine video. And all of always I'm covering those booths at those festivals. So stay tuned for all of those ones to come in the coming months, because there's always a festival.
Yes, and you're covering way more than just the Epcot festivals. You've covered Halloween Horror Nights. You've covered Beacon Barrel, one of my new favorite places at Disney World.
Yes, me too.
There is so
Yes, I covered
cheers
Disney.
to that.
Cheers to that. I covered Disney, Universal, other like theme parks, like Cedar Fair parks, fun experiences, cruises if I can. I do it all, and it's the best. And I get to sometimes see fun friends like James in the process, like over when we got to do Beacon Barrel together, which was so fun.
Yes, that was super fun. I'm going to be working on a video about that coming very soon, so everyone should check that out. But Demi, thank you so much. And everyone out there, enjoy the Epcot Food and Wine Festival.
Time for dessert, my Epcot Food and Wine game plan. My first tip, come up with your plan of a snack. Get the festival passport or look up the menus online and pick a handful of must-try items. There are also maps that show you where the booths are, so you can plot out your course of action. Tip 2, pace yourself. My personal favorite way to do the festival is just to graze all day. Just grab an item or two, walk around, go do a ride or a movie, and then hit up another booth when something sounds good or you feel hungry, and repeat. It breaks up the waiting that you have to do for the booths and makes the festival feel less stressful even when it gets crowded. Speaking of crowds, eat at off hours. Lunch and dinner time get pretty busy. The best times to eat are right when the booths open, mid-afternoon like 2 to 4 p.m., and then 7 to 9 p.m. Go during the least crowded days of the week, which will typically be Tuesday through Thursday. But crowds can surge if there's a really popular band for Eat to the Beat. So if there's a band you really want to see, consider getting a Eat to the Beat dining package, where you buy a multi-course meal or buffet, and then you can enter the concert in a separate queue. It really lowers how long you need to wait. Personally, I think Regal Eagle is the best bang for buck dining package, since it's quick service and much less expensive. But that's only available same day if there's availability. Get your festival passport stamped at every booth you go to. It's a fun activity, but there's also a meals fromage montage, where you can get a special cheese stamp by getting any of the items in the last page of the passport. Once you get 5 of these stamps, go to Shimmering Sips for a festival treat. And you can repeat items and do this across multiple days. Just save your passport. If you have allergies, use the QR code near the front of the passport to see the allergy-friendly menu options. I'll throw it up on screen here. Stay hydrated. Bring your own water bottle and refill it at quick service restaurants. And speaking of quick service restaurants, many of them have festival exclusive items like Sunshine Seasons, Connections, or Summerfest. And finally, here's a little secret. In the back of Morocco, there's a hidden getaway. During the festival, the former restaurant Marrakesh is the Florida Blue Lounge, which has free beverages, activities, and air conditioning. Plus, they give out a limited number of wristbands for guaranteed seating for Eat to the Beat. But you don't have to be a Florida Blue member to get in. Search for Florida Blue in the Disney World app, use the link on the page, and you can register for a free pass to the lounge. This is very similar to the lounge that they had for annual pass holders over the summer. So that's a lot of what to do, but what should you avoid? Stay tuned to Guide to WDW, because that video is coming in the next few days, or it's right here if I've already published it, and remember to put the link here. Also, be sure to check out Demi's coverage of food and wine over at Magical Hijinx. The link is below. This has been James from Guide to WDW. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon.